I want to transition to another financial disagreement, financial issue, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that came out under President Trump that limited the amount of state and local taxes that can be deducted on someone's federal taxes to $10,000 a year. Tax law rules on SALT deductions, as they're known, caused a lot of upset in states like New Jersey, New York, California, where residents had previously benefited from being able to deduct more. What can be done to relieve that federal tax burden on Jersey residents where, I know this isn't an issue of yours, state taxes. The state taxes are astronomically high in New Jersey. They seem to be getting even higher. And combined with what people are paying on state taxes, paying more in taxes federally. So it's financially burdening a lot of New Jersey residents.
Well, it comes down to fairness in the end. And when New Jersey families are only getting back 81 cents for every dollar we put into the federal government, whereas other states are getting $1.20 back for every dollar that they put in, it's just not fair. And when we see how that tax law that they pushed forward, it had overwhelmingly benefits to the biggest corporations, the wealthiest Americans. We saw all these huge stock buybacks that these corporations were doing rather than putting that money into higher wages for their employees or more investments into the communities. Instead, they did these huge billion-dollar stock buybacks. That was on the backs of New Jersey families and families in other states that have high property taxes. New Jersey families pay more than their fair share. We pay we have way too much in terms of tax burdens already, and then to put this on top of that, it's just really unfair. So we're pushing for. We have a bipartisan bill working for hand in hand with Congressman Chris Smith and others to be able to make sure that we are trying to restore our state and local tax deduction. It's a tough fight, though. As I said, other states are doing just fine and getting more than their fair share. So we got to really stand up together and have that kind of commonality across our delegation to be able to fight for these families.
This seems like it would work in other states, but not necessarily a high-tax state like New Jersey. Is there any part of what was introduced by President Trump, would that work federally for New Jersey if state taxes weren't as high?
Well, look, I mean, we always want to find ways in which we can spur our businesses, and especially on the small business side. So I'm on the Small Business Committee in Congress. And there's some parts of that tax law that help small businesses, some parts that are giving them less predictability in terms of their ability to plan going forward. So I think everybody in the country thinks that we needed to have some type of tax reform, that we understand our system was broken. But we also understand that the last time our country went through a major tax reform during the 80s under Reagan, that process took 2.5 years. There was lots of hearings, lots of efforts to try to think through all the consequences of these different actions. I think this past one was just rushed through, and as a result, people in New Jersey didn't have a chance to be able to have their voices heard on what the consequences were going to be. All those backroom deals and closed-door sessions in Congress, it just didn't yield a result and a solution that's going to be good for us.